Radiohead,
Reggae, Mogwai,
Interpol,
Blur,
Soulwax,
Travis,
Unix
and
Band,
Paul
Cutting
Verve.
Edge
There's been a few legendary performances at King Tut's. The best known one that everyone talks about is Oasis being signed from appearing fourth on the bill.
If everybody who said they'd been at the Oasis gig was there, the place would have had to be about the size of the old Apollo.
It's very appealing for local bands to play there as well.
If you're anywhere in Scotland, if you're into music, you'll know the venue. A&R guys are going to be there. There's not many other venues in Glasgow that match up to it.
King Tut's is very much committed to supporting new bands. If it doesn't support the new bands, then they have nowhere else to go, and the music scene withers and dies.
In its early days, I think it was very much taken for granted. It was the sort of venue which Glasgow expected to have. There were others. Nowadays, I think it's seen as pretty unique. There aren't the same number of prestigious pub gigs, and it's been recognised as an important stepping stone and has won awards.
Established acts, or even bands that are coming through. I mean, that's a hard one. I mean, you can see that the local bands are obviously built themselves up from playing other smaller venues in Glasgow and then building up to playing King Tut's after, be it 6 months or 2 years they've been together. It's relatively easy for local bands to get a gig if they're patient, I think. The waiting list, we've got all the time, like around about 300 bands, local bands waiting to play, whether it takes them 6 months or 2 years to play King Tut's. It's got something to aim for.
There are quite often showcases for 2 or 3 bands, at least one of whom you can hope will go on to greater things.
They pick 3 unsigned acts and each band gets a portion of tickets to sell. Quite often these can be the busiest and most atmospheric gigs that King Tut's puts on.
We almost never got to play it last week because our guitarist had lost all his money that he picked up from the tickets and lost 15 of the tickets in the end, and I had to go and take £200 out to pay it or we wouldn't have got to play, and he's still not paying me back. It's so much more professional. The stage is much better. People have always heard the Tuts. It's no hole in the floor that you're playing. The stage, it looks like a stage compared to a lot of the other venues. Much smoother run. There's no pissing about. Obviously, A&R guys are going to check that place out. It sounds good if you play Tuts. To anyone you're speaking to, I think it does get you places, yeah. Glasgow's music scene's really picked up in the last year or so. I just hope we can carry it on.
We're back on a roll again at the moment. The Glasgow music scene right at this moment in time is on the rise. As with any music scene, quite often what will happen is there'll be some kind of band will come through. The success of one band can breed confidence in other bands, and obviously at the moment that band's Franz Ferdinand.
Recently, I'm a very big fan of Biffy Clyro, who came through here, demo tapes, etc. and then got signed to top 40 hits and sold out the Barland.
Edinburgh bands tend to be the more experimental, perhaps the more influential in the long term. Glasgow bands have always got more of an eye on the commercial opportunities and make more of a career of it.
Snow Patrol have played here on various occasions, are obviously top 5 in the singles and albums charts, and then Franz Ferdinand obviously recently as well have really shot through the roof.
Glasgow-based bands like Franz Ferdinand and Speedway and although they're from Belfast, Snow Patrol, I've certainly got that career vibe.
It's probably the strongest it's been maybe 10 years, I would say.
They seem to be having some success, with best of luck to them.
A lot of young bands almost feel they've arrived once they've secured a gig at King Tut's. It's catered for bands who can attract a certain size of audience. And quite often that's when you can catch a band at their most interesting, when they're on the way up, they're new, they're exciting, you've just discovered them.
They have a fairly adventurous booking policy, and it would be very easy for them to be much more conservative than they are. So I think they deserve credit for that.
It's been a real focus for the music scene in Glasgow.
It's always been very welcoming. The sort of place that is very intimate, but still has a kind of rock and roll edge.